And welcome back. I'm actually really fired up today because I actually just read the National Association of Realtors' latest report for October home sales, home prices, housing inventory, and much, much more. So they just announced the latest housing market trends for October as of today, which is November 18th. I'm going to provide some more insights about what's really happening right now because they really touch very, very lightly, especially regarding home sales and home prices. And I'll share that with you guys here in just a little bit. But let's go ahead and dive right into their update here, or their narrative regarding what's happening right now in our housing market. But again, I'm going to provide a lot more insights and analysis that you probably won't see anywhere else here. So it says here in this report that existing home sales, which of course excludes brand new homes, existing home sales retreated for the 9th consecutive month in October. So home sales have declined for 9 consecutive months as of October here. And this, of course, is according to the National Association of Realtors. It says all 4 major U.S. regions registered month over month and year over year declines for home sales. So it says here home sales, which of course includes completed transactions. In other words, houses that actually have sold. And those include single family houses, townhomes, condos, and co-ops. Home sales decreased by 5.9% from September to a seasonally adjusted annualized rate at 4.4 million units in October. So at the current sales pace for October, if you multiply that by 12, you would get 4.4 million home sales. So the annualized rate is 4.43 million. And also on a year-over-year basis, home sales declined by 28.4%. And according to their chief economist, who's Lawrence Yum, he said more potential home buyers were squeezed out from qualifying for a mortgage in October as mortgage rates climbed higher. The impact is greater in expensive areas of the country and in markets that witness significant home price gains in recent years. So that's all they have to say regarding home sales in the US. But again, I have a lot more details to share with you guys. But for one, have a look at this. This again is from the National Association of Realtors. I pulled it from their website here. Here's our seasonally adjusted annualized rate for home sales. Again, on an annualized basis, 4.43 million home sales, which is obviously much lower compared to 2021. Where for the year as a whole, there was 6.12 million home sales. Again, these are existing houses, of course. And back in 2020, there was about 5.6 million. In 2019, 5.34 million home sales. And now the seasonally adjusted annualized rate is only 4.43 million. And again, it's down by 5.9% from September and down by 28.4% on a year-over-year basis. That sounds really bad, right? But I actually have more to share regarding current trends right now and how this compares to previous years. And we also saw giant decreases on a year-over-year basis by regions. They have the Northeast, the Midwest, the South, and the West, all declining by at least 23% on a year-over-year basis here, and the West declining the most by 37.5%. So that sounds bad, right? But wait, there's more. Have a look at this. I laugh because it just, I really wish they provide some more context regarding a little bit more about what's happening right now with home sales, because here's what I found. I pulled this data from the National Association of Realtors website. If you guys are not a member of the Realtors Association, you would have to pay $1,500 to get access to this information. But because I'm a realtor, I was able to get this information for you guys for free. And on top of that, I emailed the association on the 29th of September, and they gave me permission to share it with you guys in my videos here. So anyways, based on their data and my analysis, have a look at this, because the annualized rate at 4.43 million, again, this is also what they said here, that the annualized rate has decreased for 9 consecutive months. That's what they shared in their analysis here. But based on my own analysis, the current rate right now at 4.43 million, if you exclude the onset of pandemic back in May of 2020, the current levels right now are the lowest levels since December of 2011, when there was only at that time 4.35 million home sales. So let me briefly say that again. The current levels right now for home sales on an annualized basis haven't been this low since December of 2011. And that is not even mentioned in their press release that was announced today. So let me share that with you guys, because 4.43 million, the lowest levels since May 2020, when there was just over 4 million home sales on an annualized basis. But of course, that was when we had stay-home orders back in March and April of 2020, and that really impacted home sales. So at the current sales pace right now, more or less at 4.4 million, you have to go all the way until scrolling until December 2011, when at that time there was 4.35 million home sales. One thing I do want to mention is that it's entirely normal to have fewer home sales in the second half of the year. However, though, what's not normal is to have the lowest levels since December of 2011, nearly or over a 10-year low for annualized home sales this month. Anyways, going back to their press release, I really wish they mentioned this because they only talk about year-over-year changes as well as month-to-month changes and not really sharing how this month compares to previous years. Anyways, hope you guys appreciate that. And my transparency regarding trends. And wait until you see the numbers regarding home prices because there's some very big changes here as well that I want to share in today's video based on my own analysis using their data. Anyways, you'll see. So total housing inventory was at 1.22 million units, down 0.8% from last month and also from 1 year ago. And by the way, the National Association of Realtors includes pending home sales as well as houses that are for sale in their total housing inventory numbers here. That's why this number here at 1.22 million is much higher compared to Redfin and Realtor.com, for example. Also, they're stating here that we have approximately a 3.3 month housing supply at the current sales pace. This is up from 3.1 months last month and up from 2.4 months 1 year ago. In regards to housing inventory, here's what Lawrence Yun had to say. Inventory levels are still tight, which is why some homes for sale are still receiving multiple offers. I would say that yes, it's true that historically speaking, inventory is still very low. We're at levels below 2019 and 2018, for example. However, though, according to Realtor.com as well as AltosResearch.com, they're reporting gains in the range of around 45% on a year-over-year basis. In other words, we have approximately 45% more houses for sale right now compared to 1 year ago. He also says in October, approximately 24% of houses recede over the asking price. So approximately 2 of every 10 houses sold above the seller's asking price. But another way to look at this is that means that approximately 76% sold at or below the seller's asking price. In any case, let me share the latest trends we're seeing right now regarding home prices nationwide. And here's what the National Association of Realtors had to say, because they only have this very small paragraph about what's happening right now with home prices, which is, in my opinion, laughable. So have a look at this. The median existing home sold price for all housing types in October was $379,100. That's the median sold price in the US as of October, $379,100. That's a gain of 6.6% from October 2021 as prices rose in all regions. This marks 128 consecutive months of, keywords here, year-over-year increases, the longest running streak on record. Now, just like their analysis regarding home sales, I really wish they provide some additional context regarding what's happening right now with home prices. They didn't touch the fact that home prices have been declining ever since July of this year. Home prices have been declining ever since July of this year. And on top of that, they're not talking about how home prices decreased last month, only talking about the fact that home prices increased by 6.6% on a year-over-year basis. So here's what I did for you guys. Here's an actual table from the National Association of Realtors. And as you can see right here, home prices reached all-time record highs in June of this year when the median sold price was just under $414,000. But ever since then, home prices, or the median sold price, has been declining. So right now, the median sold price at $379,000. This marks the 4th consecutive month of decreases. And again, just like their press release, they only mentioned that home prices increased by 6.6% on a year-over-year basis, but no mention at all regarding the fact that home prices have been declining ever since July of this year. And on top of that, home prices have declined on a month-over-month basis as well. Home prices have declined since September as well. So here's some additional analysis I want to share in today's video because If you don't get anything out of this video, this is probably the most important thing you guys should pay attention to, because I really wish they provide some additional context regarding what's happening. And we'll just leave it at that. Here's the data I pulled from the National Association of Realtors website. Again, this is regarding home sold prices at $379,100. Again, home prices have been declining ever since July of this year, after reaching all-time record highs in June of this year. But here's what I did for you guys. I want to look at the percent change on a month-over-month basis going back more than 10 years. So this month, from September through October of this year, on a month-to-month basis, of course, home prices declined by 1.1%. Again, no mention at all in the National Association of Realtors press release. So what I want to do is to look at how does this compare to previous years. And by the way, I should have mentioned this. This is the data, or these two columns are the columns I pulled from the National Association of Realtors website, but I added this column right here to share month-over-month changes. So again, home prices declined by 1.1% from September of this year. But by my analysis right here, the average October month-to-month change, in other words, the average change from September through October each year going back to 2010 is an average decrease of 0.7%. But this year, it declined by 1.1%. So the month-over-month decrease we saw this month is also much higher compared to previous years. Not by a lot though, right? We're talking about the average down by 0.7%, and now it's down by 1.1%. But wait, there's more. So here's what I did for you guys. I want to look at what was the percent change or percent decrease in home prices ever since the peak. So the peak was in June of this year, again at $414,000. That was the all-time record high. But because home prices have been declining over the past 4 months, I want to look at the percent decrease in home prices during that time frame. So looking at June through October, home prices have declined by 8.4%. In other words, the median sold price in the US has declined by 8.4% over the past 4 months. And to me, just like I saw regarding the latest trends we're seeing right now in California, to me that sounded a bit excessive. It's entirely normal to see home prices, home sales decline, especially in November and December, and especially in the second half of the year as well. But I was scratching my head because this decrease by 8.4% sounded excessive. So here's what I did. I looked at the average percent change in home prices from June through October going back to 2010. And the average going back to 2010 is a decrease by 5.3%. And right now, or this year, home prices have declined by 8.4%, much worse than the historical averages going back to 2010, for example. And if you guys are curious, here's the percent changes from June through October each year. So in 2021, we saw a 3.1% decrease in home prices. Anytime I mention home prices, I mean the median sold price. Back in 2020, it was a 6.2% increase, as well as in 2019, down by 5%. In 2018, down by 6.8%. 2017, down by 6.6%. And then 2016, 5.5%. And in 2015, declining by 7.3%. 2014, 6.5%. 2013, down by 7.7%. And then 2012, down by 6.3% as well. And then here, October 2011, home prices declined by 8.4% from June through October of that year, which ties the percent decrease we're seeing right now from June through October this year. Again, down by 8.4%. But wait, there's more, because as I mentioned right here, this 8.4% decrease in home prices from June through October this year is the biggest decline since 2011, as I mentioned. This is a tie though. If you actually go back before that though, and look at the lowest levels since 2011, the current levels right now, down by 8.4%, is the biggest decrease since 2008. So look at this, back in 2011, again, that's tied for the biggest decrease we've been seeing since June through October this year, 8.4%. Look at this. Back in 2010, down by 6.7%. 2009, down by 5.3%. And then 2008, we saw a 13.3% decrease. So to briefly recap here, this big decrease of 8.4% ties back in October of 2011. If we want to go back before that though, we're at the biggest decreases since 2008. And again, going back to the National Association of Realtors press release, there's no mention at all regarding this changes we're seeing right now regarding home prices, other than that home prices increased by 6.6%. And on top of that, home prices rose in all major regions in the US compared to 1 year ago. And also this marks 128 consecutive months of year-over-year increases, the longest running streak on record. In any case, I hope you guys appreciate my transparency and some additional analysis that's not even mentioned in their press release. Anyways, how hard is it to mention that home prices declined by last month and also compared to July? Anyways, let's go ahead and read on here. It says days on the market was at 21 days. So that's the median days on the market, up from 19 days in September and 18 days from last year. And 64% of houses sold in October were on the market for less than 1 month. They also talk about first-time homebuyers, because first-time homebuyers purchased approximately 28% of all home sales in October. That's down slightly from 29%, both from last month and also last year as well. And all cash sales represented about 26% of all transactions in October, up from 22% in September and up from 24% from 1 year ago. Individual investors and second home buyers purchased 16% of all houses in October. And also, by the way, according to Freddie Mac, the average 30-year fixed rate mortgage for the month of October was 6.90%. And with that said, if you guys got any value in this video whatsoever, then please hit the like button. I greatly appreciate that. Hope you guys have an awesome day and look forward to seeing you on the next video.